Okay. Good morning, everyone. The Parsha is Parashat Korach. I hope you have books, everyone. So first we'll go through the major points in the Parsha and then we'll analyze them. So the Parsha started. I don't have the book that you have. What? 820. The topic of this parsha is the major dispute that was between Moshe Rabenu and his cousin. If you didn't know, Korach was the cousin of Moshe Rabenu. They were the fathers of Moshe Rabenu and Korach were brothers. And Korach took himself. The beginning of the parsha is Vayikach Korach. Vayikach Korach. He took himself. He separated himself from the entire congregation that was going or following Moshe Rabenu, and he came in front of Moshe and asked and gathered with him 250 people that were very important people. We have to, let's just mention this now. We're talking about the people who went out of Mitzrayim and saw the 10 plagues in Egypt, the split of the sea. We're talking about after they saw Hashem in the revelation at Sinai. So all of them were prophets. Even a small or very not important person over there went through the split sea, and it says, ראתה שפחה על הים מה שלא ראה יחזקאל בן בוזי. The maid even on who crossed with them the Yam Suf saw in prophecy things that even the greatest prophets never saw. So we're talking about people who has some understanding of in the highest level of what Judaism is all about. And Korach himself was in the family of the Levim that used to carry the ark, the Aron Kodesh. So he was not just a politician who has an ego and he wants to, fight for nothing. It was a real big thing over here. And he took with him many of the important people in the Jewish nation at the time, and they came on Moshe and they asked Moshe Rabenu, "Umadua titnasu al kal Hashem." Everyone is holy. Everyone here was in the revelation at Sinai, saw Hashem. So why you are the one who think that you are more than anyone else? Right now, in the beginning of the parsha, it's not really clear what they want. I mean, what was the major claim? Later on, it will be explained, even in the psukim, that in the words in the Torah, that they claim, or they claim that to be the Kohen. He claimed to be the Kohen Gadol, and the argument was that Moshe Rabenu just put or give the job of being the highest priest to his brother, not with instructions from Hashem. He did it on his own. Now here we're coming to something very major. If you know Yigdal Elokim Chai, the 13 principles. One. But you could come here. So the 13 principles in Judaism have two principles that relate to this week parsha. Number 7 is that Moshe Rabenu is the highest prophet ever, and actually it's based on a pasuk. At the last pasuk, in the last few psukim in the Torah, Velo kam b'Yisrael naviot k'Moshe. Moshe was the highest Navi ever. So we have to know that about prophecy, we have 2 out of the 13 principles. Number 6 is that there is such a thing called prophecy, that God talk to people and give them information through this channel called prophecy. So this is one principle. And the other principle, and it's a principle by itself, that Moshe Rabenu is highest than any other prophet. Okay? So that principle number 7. Principle number 8 in the 13 principles is that the Torah, the entire Torah, was given from Hashem. Okay? This is the 8th principle. The entire Torah, the meaning is Torah shebichtav and Torah shebe'al peh, the written Torah and the explanation of it, which is the oral Torah. Now, in this week's Parsha, the story of Korach is arguing with Moshe about the 8th principle. The entire Torah was given to Moshe from Hashem, and the entire Torah means the mitzvos, all the mitzvos, and its explanation and everything. Torah kula, the entire Torah. So the entire Torah means it's not just the mitzvot and not just the explanation of the mitzvot, but also everything that Moshe Rabenu did, he did when Hashem instructs him exactly what to do. Especially this thing that is the topic over here, who is going to be the highest priest. So Korach argued with this, and in a way he is arguing one of the principles, right? That Moshe Rabenu did it from his own idea. Hashem never gave him this instruction, and that was the entire thing. Now, from this tragic story that we had in this Parsha, at the end we will see, I mean, if you know, they actually died because of this, Korach and all the people who he's gathered. But for generations, what stayed with us is one pasuk. Let me just send you to this pasuk. If you could open it. I need the book also because to show you. Okay, it's chapter 16, Tet Zayin, pasuk. Thank you. I'll just open it just a second. It's pasuk 27, I think. Just a minute. One minute.
28.
Um, 28. Okay? 1628.
What page?
Page 826. Number 28. Verse 28. Okay? What Moshe Rabenu says. Vayomer Moshe. Moshe says, Bezot ted'un, כי השם שלחני לעשות את כל המעשים האלה כי לא מליבי. The entire argument was, Moshe Rabbeinu, you did it from your own idea. So Moshe Rabbeinu saying to them, I'm going to prove it to you. That it's not like what Korach and his group says. I never did anything from my own ideas. Everything, Hashem shlachani la'asot et kol ha'ma'asim ha'ele. Hashem sent me to do all these actions. The actions means that who will be what? Who will be the highest priest? Who will be the principal, the president of the family of Kehat? And that was the... So, I'm going to prove it to you. And now he said something amazing. Next verse. פסוק כ"ט, in verse 29. אם כמות כל האדם ימותון אלה, ופקודת כל האדם ייפקד עליהם, לא השם שלחני. If those people gonna die the way everyone in the world died, as we know, let me mention this, death is a decree on the entire human race since Chet Adam Rishon. since the sin of Adam Rishon. So he said the following: everyone has a decree to die, but those people will not die the way everyone dying. And the next verse, ואם בריאה יברא השם ופצתה האדמה את פיה ובלעה אותם ואת כל אשר להם וירדו חיים שאולה, וידעתם כי ניאצו האנשים האלה את השם. If Hashem will create a new creation, and it will be an earthquake, but it will not be a regular earthquake. The earthquake will, the ground will open its mouth and will swallow those people. So the amazing thing over here about this is Moshe Rabenu faced a challenge. And Hashem said about Moshe Rabenu, we learned this 2 weeks ago when Aaron and Miriam tried to verify what's the difference between them, their prophecy level, to Moshe Rabbeinu prophecy level, and Hashem told them, don't even compare between you and him, because you are a prophet, which is very high level, but he is different. And that's what we said, that the level of nevuah, the level of prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu is highest, and Hashem says about him, Lo chen avdi Moshe, Moshe is my servant, bechol beiti ne'emanu. He is trustworthy in the entire thing. Beiti meaning my house, meaning the world. About this, or from this, we sang in Shachris of Shabbat, ישמח משה במתנת חלקו, כי עבד נאמן קראת לו. He is your trustworthy servant. בכל ביתי נאמנו. So because Hashem called him, I'm trusting you, Moshe Rabbeinu now facing this challenge that Korach put. Just a minute.
The story with Miriam happened in the last year.
What do you mean?
Before Korach.
Before Korach.
After Korach.
Who said?
When did the story with Korach happen?
That's not clear. But the story with Miriam was before. According to the Seder of Parashiot. It's mentioned in Parashat Baalotcha, and we're talking now here later. Okay. But it doesn't matter. Moshe Rabbeinu was the trustworthy. It doesn't matter if it was said before or after. Hashem said, I'm trusting you, right? Hashem said Moshe Rabbeinu, he trusted him. Eved ne'eman karata lo. Now Moshe Rabbeinu faced the challenge that he made things that Hashem didn't really command him, right? So now Moshe Rabbeinu do an amazing, dramatic thing. He says to Hashem, he says to them, if those people will die the way regular people die, then they're right. Hashem didn't send me to do this, and I did it from my own ideas. But now he put a challenge, or he actually saying something that Hashem has to respond. He asked Hashem right now to create a new creation, something that was never there before. Create a new way of death to this particular people. And this is the meaning, Ve'im bri'a yivra Hashem. Hashem will create a new way of death to those people. And what it will be right now, Moshe Rabbeinu saying, it will be right now, will be an earthquake, but the earthquake will be particular. It will swallow alive those people. Let's see it in the words of the pasuk again. Im kemot kol adam. I'm quoting from 29, verse 29. Im kemot kol adam yimutun ele, ufkudat kol adam yipaked alehem, lo Hashem shlachani. If they will die regular way, so that will be the proof that they are right. Hashem didn't send me, and I did it from my own ideas. Just a minute. V'im bri'a yivra Hashem. If Hashem will create a new creation, ופצתה האדמה את פיה ובלעה אותם ואת כל אשר להם, וירדו חיים שאולה. Things that did never happen in the world before. I mean, if it's a regular earthquake, regular people could swallow inside the ground when they're alive, But here he speaks about those particular people, to be selective earthquake. That could prove it. And that's what happened. He just finished to talk, to say those words. Then, and the ground opened its mouth and swallowed them. So, the Rambam brings this. Rambam in the 13th principle, when he explains the 13th principle, he brings this as a proof, that a historical proof to the fact that Moshe Rabenu get the entire Torah, Torah shebichtav and Torah shebe'al peh, the written Torah and the oral Torah from Hashem. So for generations that stayed for us, Jews, through the history, from this tragic event that happened with Korach, we know that Moshe Rabenu is the trustworthy in a way that nothing that he said is from his own ideas, but everything was given from Hashem. Yeah.
This is going to sound apikoros a little bit, but
it's fine, we're learning. Yeah, you could ask all the Vedama shetoshiv la'apikoros, even the apikoros that inside you.
he's saying that everything he did came from Hashem,
Right.
and then he makes something, an initiative of his own, to say that the earth should swallow these people up.
And the amazing thing that Hashem responds.
Right, but I mean, it just sounds like a contradiction,
Why?
because he's saying from his own heart that this is what should happen.
Okay, let's differentiate between two things. To decide who will be the highest priest is part of the Torah, because Hashem said that should be the highest priest, right? So here was the argument that Korach says you did it from yourself. When he proved it, he didn't add anything to the Torah. He didn't make something. He just want to make this done that no one ever will argue that everything was by instruction of Hashem. And the amazing thing that Hashem did it right away. So you see the tzaddik goizer and Hashem mekayem, because here what was the risk? What was at stake? If it will not happen, it will be a question mark about everything that Moshe Rabenu said. So who said that? I mean, the Ten Commandments, okay, we heard, but anything else, even the rest of the written Torah, and for sure the oral Torah, will always have the question mark, who said, maybe Moshe Rabenu did. So from here we have the proof that it was done because of this event that the entire nation was witnesses to. We know that every little detail in the Torah was given from Hashem. Yeah.
Korach, I mean, I'm wondering why he didn't know that Moses had prophecy, that he spoke with Hashem. Wouldn't he have known that? It kind of disturbs me that Korach was so arrogant to think that
Right.
he could argue with Moses.
It's a very good point. As I said before, Korach was not a simple person. Let me make your question even harder, even bigger, in order to answer it. The entire story there is something. So, if you want, you could go to the Psukim and see it yourself. But when Moshe Rabenu came to Egypt, first time, when the Jews were still slaves in Egypt, right? He told them, Hashem revealed himself to me in the burning bush, send me to redeem you. He came to Egypt, it says, Vayaminu Vayamena Am. They believed him. Then it was a whole project to convince Pharaoh, but after the 10 plagues, even Pharaoh was convinced. And they went out of Egypt, right? In Kriyas Yamsuf, when the entire Egyptian army drowned in the water and they cross in the dry land, right after that it says, Vayaminu ba'Hashem uveMoshe avdo. They have full trust in Hashem and in Moshe. Who? The Jewish nation, including Korach. Vayaminu ba'Hashem uveMoshe avdo. Later on, before Ma'amad Har Sinai, Hashem says to Moshe Rabenu, you know why I'm doing this revelation, the entire national revelation? Let me quote the pasuk. If you want, you could see it in Sefer Shemot, in Parashat Yitro. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. הנה אנוכי בא אליך באה וענן. I'm coming to you in the thickness of the cloud. בעבור ישמע העם בדברי עמך. So the nation will hear that I'm talking to you. וגם בך יאמינו לעולם. And in you they will trust and believe in you forever. So Hashem said that anyone who will be here in the revelation at Sinai, including Korach, will believe in you forever. Korach was there, right? So he believed in Moshe Rabenu in Kriyas Yamsuf. First of all, when he came to Egypt, then in Kriyas Yamsuf, then in Ma'amad Sinai. 40 days later, it's even more than that. 40 days later, when they were dancing around the golden calf, Moshe Rabbeinu went down of the mountain, right? And he asked, Mi la Hashem Elai? Who is for Hashem? Gathered. Who came to him running? The entire tribe of Levi. Vayasvu elav kol bnei Levi. Korach was there? Yes, sure. So what happened? And Korach was one who has the merit to carry the ark with the Aron HaKodesh in it. הוא היה one of the נושאי הארון. So what happened?
We're in trouble. We always are. It doesn't matter what you see and do and hear. There's always somebody who's
That's what. Okay, now I want to ask, try to address this question, which is a very good question. How could it be? So, the story is, I don't know, you have Rashi over there? No.
Yeah.
Do you have Rashi with the translate to English, or you understand the Rashi?
It's not translated.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'll try to translate. First pasuk of the Parsha. Look at Rashi. First pasuk, Perek Tetzayin 16, verse, the first pasuk. Okay. ויקח קורח בן יצהר בן קהת בן לוי ודתן ואבירם. Ask Rashi this question. Your question is Rashi's question. And actually Rashi quoting the Medrash. מה ראה קורח לחלוק עם משה? What happened? Why Korach? This is crazy. Why? All of a sudden you do not believe Moshe. You blame him that he just gave this job to his brother. See the answer. נתקנה על נשיאותו של אליצפן בן עוזיאל. The answer in one word is jealousy. What happened? Kehat, which was the grandfather of Moshe Rabenu. Kehat, Amram, Moshe. So Kehat was the grandfather of Moshe. Kehat also was the grandfather of Korach. Because Kehat has 4 sons. Try to remember. Uvnei Kehat, Amram, Veyitzhar, Vechevron, Veuziel. 4 children was to Kehat. Number 1 was Amram. Amram was the father of Moshe and Aaron. Yitzhar was number 2, and Yitzhar was the father of Korach. Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kehat. So Yitzhar was the father of Korach. Now, the youngest brother was Uziel. Uziel was the youngest brother. In between was Chevron. So four sons, Amram, Yitzhar, Chevron, Uziel. Now, when Moshe Rabenu divided the missions of the tribe of Levi, and their mission was to take the Mishkan from one step to the other step during their journey in the desert, each family got a job. The job of Kehat was to take the Aaron, okay. So each family got a president or a leader of the family. Who was the president of the entire family of Kehat? Elitzaphan ben Uziel. Uziel is the youngest brother, and his son Elitzaphan Moshe Rabbeinu said he will be the president of the family. Korach felt bad about this. He said, okay, you are the leader because you are the son of the oldest brother, Amram. But why Elitzaphan ben Uziel will be the president when I'm the son of the second brother? That was the trigger. So the trigger started not from saying, Moshe Rabenu, you put Aaron in the job of the higher priest. It started from earlier by the jealousy that he has with Elitzaphan ben Uziel. That's what Rashi says over here in the name of the Medrash. Yeah?
Wouldn't you think that they would know by now, looking at Jewish history, that Hashem doesn't necessarily go by the first son? I mean, if you look at it's always counterintuitive. It's always that. So you would think that they would have some cycle and understand that, this is not the way Jews do this.
So that if he's such a great
The thing is, the assumption...
if he's such a great man, then why would he have the midah jealousy?
Right. That's what we're going to learn from this week's Parsha. You know why we're reading the Parsha every week? Not just to hear the story or learn the story of what happened in the history. It's not a history book. It's Torah. What is Torah? Torah, the meaning of the word Torah are instructions, something to learn from. There are no details. The details are here to teach us. And that's what I want to, the point that I want to make to answer all those three comments that you have over here. The Torah teaches us about the nature of the human personality. I remember when I was younger, I admired smart people, wise people. I thought, wow, if people are smart, they see the reality the way it is. Right? I was so naive. We have to know, we have two tools that God gave each one of us. Here, one tool, the brain, but more important than this is the heart. And those two are in charge of two different things. The brain is a computer. Give them information, it will analyze it, depend how sharp it is, whatever, but it could be very smart, very knowledgeable, fine. Human beings are not computers. They have computers. Here. Different models, different qualities. We all have computers. Computers are not the one who made us to do or make decisions in life. Something else completely. It's called the heart. The heart is the engine, is the source of emotions. And the heart and the brain interact with each other, and more than that, the heart directs the brain. So it doesn't matter how smart you are, and the more you're smart, you are in a more dangerous situation, because the heart could direct or make your brain think the way the heart wants it to think. And that's the big story over here. No doubt that Korach was knowledgeable, smart. And the Medrash says, Ma vekorach shepikeach haya, ma ra'a lishtut zo. So that the Medrash says, Korach was very smart. How he did this stupid thing? The Medrash asked this in those words. Ma ra'a lishtut zot? So the answer is the jealousy. We have no idea how jealousy or the heart our interests are so major influences of the way we think. And let's see what happened over here. There is a Mishnah in Masechet Avot. Let me quote the Mishnah, explain it. It's good to know year-long, lifelong, but it will particularly relate to here. The Mishnah in Masechet Avot, it's in the 4th chapter, Mishnah 21. Rabbi Elazar HaKapar אומר, הקנאה והתאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. Jealousy, desire, and pursuing honor, respect, whatever, kavod, could take a person out of the world. So let's analyze it. Explain what's Rabbi Elazar HaKapar teaching us here in this Mishnah. He's talking about a person that has everything that everyone will wish. Health, status, money, everything. A happy person that has everything that they need. So Rabbi Elazar HaKapar warning this person. You have a lot, you're happy, you want to keep it? Be careful. There are three things that each one of them could ruin your world. It's like illnesses or microbes, not physical microbes, spiritual microbes, that if you will get them and they will get into you, they will take away everything that you have. And what are they? Kin'ah, ta'ava, v'kavod. What is kin'ah? Kin'ah is jealousy. I heard an amazing definition of jealousy. Let me share it with you. What is jealousy? I have everything I need. But how come you will have more than me? And let me analyze it to explain the tricky thing. I have everything that I need. I will be the happiest person in the world if you will not be here. But because you are here, and you have more than me in something, I feel that I'm missing it. So I feel miserable. It's a lie, because it's not true. Because if you were not here, I was the happiest person. So the fact that you're here and you have more than me caused me to think that I'm missing something. The thing is, the disease is, sometimes when a person has this disease, they do not know this. They do not know that it's a fake feeling. They believe that it's a real feeling. And when they're convinced that it's a real feeling, they will do everything to get what you have, either by getting it for themselves or take it away from you in order to feel equal to you. Right? And this thing could destroy the life of a person. So this is one disease called jealousy. The other one is desire. Desire is to take more than what you need. If you have this, after you have what do you need? If a person has the desire to get more than that, he could lose whatever he has already. Let's take one example of food, right? When there is an event with a buffet, it always, people take more than they could eat. This is the extra. This is the desire. And food also, it's not just, people like what tastes good, not necessarily healthy. And that could ruin their health, cause them death. And this is one need, human needs. There are others. When you take more or have the desire to take more, that desire to take more could ruin literally the life, take you out of the world. The other thing is kavod. I never know how to really translate it the way it means over here. It's not just honor or respect, status. In Hebrew, let me show you why in Hebrew it's much more than any translation is. The key to understand any notion in Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh, in the holy language, is the root, right? What is the root of the word kavod? Kaf, bet, and dalet, right? So as letters, kaf, bet, and dalet. But if you put them together, it's a word by itself in Hebrew. What is it? Heavy. Kavet. Now heavy, in the physical, we're talking about heavy and light. But in the abstract, when we talk about something important, heavy. Or something light, something not important. why pursuing honor or respect or status, why it's so negative? Every human being has right to be respected. By the way, why? Here's the point. Why? Why? Why everyone should be respected? Only because we are in the God image. And it says in Tehillim, probably you know, David HaMelech asked, Mi hu ze melech hakavod? Who is the king of kavod? Hashem. Hashem tzvaot hu melech hakavod. And because he created us in his image, therefore, only therefore, we should be respected. Now the Mishnah, other Mishnah in Masechet Avot, ask, Eizeu mechubad? Who could be considered dignified or mechubad person? Hamechabed et habriot. Someone who honor or respect others. Why? Why should I respect other person? Because of the following. I should know what is the who are the only one who deserve kavod? God. Now he created me in his image. What is the meaning of this? Hashem doesn't have a body because body is material, material is limited, and Hashem is unlimited. So what is the meaning, the image of God? Not the body, the soul, the neshama. So the neshama has qualities in it that it is in Hashem. The quality of the neshama. Now the question is, how do I look at myself? How do I look at myself? Many people do not know that they have a soul. And even if they heard that there is such a thing, they have no idea how to relate to it. When you look at the mirror, you do not see your soul, you see your body. So, unfortunately, many people going around in the world thinking that they are a piece of material, their body. They do not know that they have a soul. Even if you know that you have a soul, you have to know how to relate to it. So if you do not know, you do not know how to, you're not relate to it. Even if you know and you do not know how to, what do you mean that you have a soul? When I know that I have a soul, and the soul is something so pure and so big, much than anything else, I relate to myself different. I'm respecting myself. I'm respecting the fact that I have something spiritual. I respect myself. When I respect myself, what happened? When I'm going on the street, I see people. What do I see? I always understand or observe things the way I observe myself. If I'm a body, when I'm going in the street, what I see? Bodies. But if I'm not a body, I'm a soul in a body. When I see people, I see souls in the body. And souls is something that I have to respect. Therefore, Ezu mechubad mechabed et habriot. If you respect others, but why you respect others? Because you understand what being human, what human being is. Okay? So the more you respect yourself, you respect people. You respect others. A person who do not respect themselves will never respect others. There's no reason. So, when someone pursue kavod, say, actually what actually this person said, you know what? You are not respecting me enough. Right? That's a claim. You're not respecting me enough. Now ask yourself why. Why people do not respect you? If you will radiate something that deserves respect, the respect will be there. If you feel that people do not respect you, the problem is you. It's not them. So when you pursue and demand people to respect you, what happened? It's ridiculous. Because if you deserve respect, they will give it to you anyways. If they do not give it to you and you demand it, something wrong over here. How could you demand something that it's not obvious? It should be obvious, right? Natural. So when you ask respect that people do not give you, the reason that they do not give you that you do not deserve it. So if you demand something that you do not deserve, what will be the result? Maybe after you demand it, people will make believe that they respect you. Let's say if you're the boss, or if you're a very important person, you have a lot of money or whatever power you have. People will respect you because, they're afraid or something. But inside, they will despise you. כל הרודף אחר הכבוד, הכבוד בורח ממנו. Anyone who chases the kavod run away from it. You get just the opposite. Now, let's go back to the Mishnah. Rabbi Elazar HaKapar says, הקנאה והתאווה והכבוד מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. The jealousy and the desire and pursuing kavod will take you away from the world. It could ruin everything that you have. So be careful. Don't get near those diseases. Jealousy, desire, and pursuing kavod. Now let's go back to our parsha. Korach. Pikeach haya. He was a smart person. He was a wise person. He was a prophet. He was in Mamad Sinai, right? He was running when Moshe Rabenu asked, who didn't dance around the golden calf? He was running because he was so faithful. So what happened? What happened is the jealousy. The jealousy starts very little. Why he is the president? I'm talking now about Elitzaphan ben Uziel. We are not talking now about Aaron. Why Elitzaphan ben Uziel will be the president when I was before? He got hurt. You could say, logically it doesn't make sense. He should know the history of the Jewish people, as you said, right? It's all right here in the computer. But there is something called heart. And the jealousy or the attributes are in the heart. And here's the dramatic thing that we should learn from here. We have to be so careful. We could be the smartest people, but we have to know that when we judging something, we are judgmental. We have to verify and make sure that it's objective, that it's not coming from any interests. Because that could twist our way of thinking. And the more we're smart, we will make a whole philosophy around it. This thing called in psychology, rationalization, exactly. So you go after your desire. Sometimes you are aware of it, sometimes you do not aware of it. Most of the time you do not aware of this. And because of this, I'm a logical person, right? So let's build an entire philosophy. And it will not be a problem for a smart person to build a whole very sophisticated philosophy around any crazy idea that you could think of. This is it. And that's what we learn from here, that the Kina started. Now, what the Kina led from step to step to step. It started from why and that's not what he said, but it started in him, in Korach, why Elitzaphan ben Uziel is the president of the entire Mishpachat Kehat. Then, it was inside in him. He was developing it inside. And then, why Aaron is the high priest? And it led to what? Not just why Aaron is the high priest. Moshe Rabenu did it from his own mind. If he did it from his own mind, now it's a question about the entire Torah. Maybe everything he made out of his own mind. And then, the question will be, how Hashem sent this guy. So the question now, sent Moshe Rabenu because he might did it from his own mind, right? So now who to blame now? Hashem himself. So you see it comes from step by step. It starts from the jealousy, the little jealousy, but it came to a fact that a person who saw Ma'amad Har Sinai in his own eyes become a denier of Hashem himself. And that's what the Medrash says. That Korach apikorosaya. He became an apikoros at the end. And actually, the Torah teaching this to us, not just in this week Parsha, but last week Parsha, the same as well. Remember the Meraglim, right? The spies. Moshe Rabenu chose them. Hashem told him, Shlach lecha anashim. And Moshe Rabenu chose them. And it says over there, Kulam anashim. They were great people. Rashe bnei Israel hema. And again, think about the level of the Jewish nation at the time. And we're talking about the leaders. The people who were not just political leaders, spiritual leaders. Those are the Meraglim that Moshe Rabenu sent them. Kulam anashim, says the Parsha, last week Parsha, says Rashi, Kulam anashim, at the time they were tzaddikim. So what happened? What happened? When they went to this mission, the Zohar says that the story was that it was again a calculation that they made. They say, we are the presidents, we are the leaders now when the Jews are in the desert. If we will recommend positive about the land of Israel, they will go to the land of Israel, and then will be a re-election for the presidents. And we are not sure that we will be re-elected. So,
It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, there's an obvious failing here, and what hope is there for us? Nowhere near.
so first of all, let me explain more about them. Then we'll get to us. Right. That's what I said before. The Torah teaching us the human nature, and we have to learn from the failure of others in order not for us to make the same fail.
But wasn't it also fear on their part?
Of what?
Fear of having to take responsibility in the new land, of conquering the land. They weren't afraid.
The Zohar says that the only thing was they're afraid to lose their jobs. Now, we have to remember again, they are not a regular politician that we know from now. Those are kids compared to them. It was not politics, it was not ego. When someone, of course it's very rare in the regular politics, when someone is a leader, if this person is honest, she should be idealistic. It's not my ego, my good feelings that I'm leading, I have the status. I really feel a mission to direct those people in the right path, right? So that's what they thought. We are the leaders, and we have a lot to contribute. And it will be a shame if they will move us from our position. Because they believe that they're really contributing. They did L'Shem Shamayim. They were Anshay Shem. So what's the thing? What's the problem with the land of Israel? By the way, we have to know we have a problem with the land of Israel.
Oh.
Since then until today. And let me explain what is the problem with the land of Israel. Don't mix it with the state of Israel. Okay? The land of Israel. The Holy Land. We got the Torah in Ma'amad Har Sinai. Most of the mitzvahs of the Torah apply, or you could do them in Eretz Yisrael. And even the one that you could do abroad, there is a significance to make them do them in their Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is the Holy Land, and holiness means that every physical thing, you should connect it to a spiritual meaning. This is a responsibility. This is not an easy job. When they went for their mission as spies. The entire thing was wrong from the beginning. Hashem says, I'm going now to the last week Parsha. We're going to have a break, and maybe after we'll get back to this week Parsha. The mission was extra from the beginning. Hashem told Moshe Rabenu, I'm going to give them the best land. Honey and milk and whatever. Milk and honey. The best land. So when they came to Moshe Rabenu and says, we want to send spies to check out, this is putting a question mark about the promise of Hashem. And again, how could they do that? After the 10 plagues of Egypt, Kriyas Yams, Hashem promised you that they're going to give you the best land ever. You questioning this? And Moshe Rabbeinu agreed with them, and he sent, Vayitav be'enai hadavar. What is the thing? Human nature. Again, the human nature. We are lazy. And I'm not speaking just in my name. We are lazy. The reason that we are lazy, because we have a body. And the body is material, and material wants rest, not to put too much efforts, unless it's very necessary. We are lazy. Our mission in life is to take every physical and give it spiritual meaning. And that's obligated to do certain things in certain times, in certain ways, in certain amount. And the body do not really want this. The body wants to do whatever, no limits, nothing. So when Hashem gave us the Torah, we said Nasa v'nishma. And in a way, it was by force. Why? Because Hashem gave us at the time when He revealed the revelation at the time, it was so clear there will be no other way. No other way. This is the absolute truth. So if it's the absolute truth, you could not say anything but Nasa v'nishma. Okay, we're doing this. But what happened after? After the clarity went away a little bit, then you back to life and say, really? That's what we have to do? The way to do it is in Eretz Yisrael. In Eretz Yisrael will be no man that comes from the ground, from the sky. You have to go work, not just physically. The entire thing, the entire mitzvah was applied in Eretz Yisrael. So after Ma'amad Har Sinai is over, and the clarity is not the way it was, we thought again, oy vey, we really put ourselves into this? So the tendency was, let's delay it as much as we can. That was in the subconscious of the entire nation. Now came the Meraglim, and if they will come with a positive report, what will be the results? We'll go right away to Eretz Yisrael. If we'll go right away to Eretz Yisrael, the entire Torah will be applied immediately. Therefore, the Meraglim themselves said, we need more time. We just went out of Egypt. You cannot make us so holy immediately. Let's delay it. So that was the hidden motive of delaying it by them. The nation. So it was connected also to their job. We have what to contribute. We need to train the people. And we are the best trainers, so let us continue with our job. And the nation also. Why to go right now? And that is the problem. We know that Eretz Yisrael is the holy land, but it's holy. And it's requiring. And we went to exile 3 times. The first exile, this is also crazy thing, no comparison to anything in the world. The first exile that we had as a nation was even before we entered to the country first time. The first exile was the 40 years in the desert. That was an exile from the country before we ever entered the country. Then we have the destruction of the first temple and the second temple, and we're still in exile. And in a way, be honest. It's relatively comfortable to be in exile, right? If Mashiach will come now and tell you, pack up, we're moving. Many people will have a lot of problem with this. Really? Giving up my villa, my apartment, or my car, or everything that they have over here? Yeah, pack right now. It's a real problem. Many people will try to delay. See? Now you could understand the psychology of why they didn't want to. It was very comfortable in the desert, and the condition that they have. They have the 7 clouds around with the air conditioning in. No need for laundry because it was fresh every day, right? Food, you could taste anything that you want from the man. Why to give it up? Why to give it up? So again, we see the same pattern. The negia, the interest, the known interest and the hidden interest that has in the heart, that could make a philosophy in the mind around it. That's what direct them. So that was the story of last week, the Meraglim and Korach. It was a jealousy that started this, built in him, and it caused him to be an apikoros mamash, denying Hashem, denying the Torah, denying everything. After he saw, and after Hashem promised that anyone who sees it will never deny it. But if you let the bad attribute to influence you, it's not in this promise. And that's what happened to Korach. After the break, I want to show you something very, very deep from the Kabbalah about what really happened. And I'll tell you the question. The question is the question that Rabenu Bechaye, the Talmud, the disciple of Ramban, asked. It's a very big question, and the answer is amazing. The question was, Moshe Rabenu saved the Jewish nation from being destroyed after Chet HaEgel because he prayed to Hashem. He davened to Hashem, right? Same thing after the Meraglim. Hashem said, I want to kill them. Last week, Parsha. And Moshe Rabenu said, how could you do that? What about the promise to the Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? And Hashem said, Salachti kidvarecha. I will forgive you because of you. Ask Rabenu Bechaye, so how come here we didn't see him davening for those people, for Korach, Datan, Aviram, and this 250 people who challenging him? How come he didn't daven and save them? We didn't see that he went into any negotiation with them. How could you do this? Please don't. He didn't do anything. And he didn't pray for them. The question is why? And the answer is unbelievable after the break.